What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul, bringing you the latest on Survivor Season 35, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. Okay, guys, so today we are doing a cast analysis, well, not we, but I am doing a cast analysis of the 35th season of Survivor, which is going to be airing next Wednesday. I believe it's the 27th. So really excited about it, and I know a lot of you guys are too. So I say we just jump right into it. Okay. If you guys are wondering where the rest of my crew are that usually does these things with me, they are all busy for the next couple of days, and I feel like it's better if we get this out as soon as possible. So that's why we're doing it today. All right. So I say we just jump right into it. Okay. So here we have it. Survivor 35. Well, Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers cast analysis. Okay, so let's start with our first Survivor contestant. Okay. So first Survivor contestant is Alan Ball. And what's interesting about Alan is he's Survivor does this actually fairly often. When they bring back like a former athlete and they have them play Survivor. They've done this multiple times, multiple seasons. And I know most of you at this point are familiar with the trend. So he has played football before, so professionally. He's played amongst multiple teams. I tended to actually like Alan. He says that he wasn't like a big shot player, so he doesn't feel like a lot of people are going to remember him, like really super fans to really remember from when he played. So he thinks that he can potentially fly under the radar. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, it could very well happen. It's very well possible that he could fly under the radar. But I'm sure there's going to be at least one person that just, they're just going to show them like talking. He's going to be like, oh, that's Alan Ball. He played for blah, blah, blah. So you know what's going to happen. But anyway, yeah, he's 31 years old. He says he can't stand liars. So, and by the way, he's on the hero tribe. So I'm breaking it down with the heroes first, then the healers, and then the hustlers. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions for me, be sure to talk down in the chat. I will gladly listen to them. All right. All right. So he says he can't stand liars. I feel like that's going to be, it's Survivor. There's always going to be liars in Survivor. So I just feel like it's not being able to stand liars. I think he's going to have a tough time playing this game. And, I really hope for his sake that, but I don't know. I mean, let me know what you guys think down below, because lying is one essential part of this game. I feel like you have to lie at least a little bit in order to get like really far in. Otherwise, you'll have these liars, and there are some people here that are definitely liars and said they would lie. So you might have a rough time with that. All right. So yeah, he says one funny thing. He says he would try to bring hot sauce to the island if he could, because he loves hot sauce. Now I understand the feeling. I also am a hot sauce connoisseur, so I understand his sentiment completely. But he said he would also bring like a picture of his family. So that makes a little more sense than the hot sauce, I think. Hey, I see Patty's in the chat. Hey, Patty, how you doing? All right, so now let's go on to our next contestant. All right, guys. So our next contestant is Ashley Nolan. Okay, so she's 26 years old and she's a lifeguard. Now, I found her story to be quite incredible. Because just because of the spontaneity of it. Because so she says that she actually ended up quitting her office job to become a lifeguard full time. Like she just decided one day, yeah, I'm done with this office job. I'm through with all this stuff. So I'm just gonna become a lifeguard, and that's what she just decided one day. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So it's really good for people to like go for their dreams and really go hard for it. She says she loves the outdoors, and she says lifeguarding is like her place to be. So, yeah, it could be good. I think there was one guy on the Survivor cast who like just learned to swim. Oh, video not working. Okay, someone said the video wasn't working, but it's working on my thing just fine. So we're going to continue going for the hell of it. All right. So, yeah. So Ashley, she's a lifeguard. She says she doesn't like complainers. Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of complaining. I feel like there's always a lot of complaining in Survivor. It's kind of like the nature of the game. They're outside. There's like unlimited time. There's not a lot to do. So there's going to be people complaining a lot. So I feel like she's going to so I feel like she could potentially get into like a confrontation with someone, or could like hear someone like complain and maybe target them for that reason. She said she hates losing, so she's like a real she says she's like an alpha girl. So we could really see her like go out and really compete in competitions. So that's going to be pretty exciting, at least in my humble opinion. Let me know down below what you think about Ashley. How far I think she's going to get, I'm not too sure. Do a good job. If she has that like that big athletic ability, I feel like she's going to be able to perform. She could potentially make it pretty far into the game. However, there were a lot of outdoorsy people this season, just based on this cast. But well, we will get to them next, and let's get to our next contestant. All right, we have Ben Driebergen. Don't know how to pronounce his last name. If anyone knows how to pronounce his last name, I guess let me know down below. So he's a 34-year-old Marine. So we should first thank him for his service. Thank you, Ben. He says that his biggest inspiration in his life was one of his fellow Marines who died in combat. He was talking a little bit about it in his video. He says he got the opportunity to deliver his comrades dog tags to their family. So he says that was a really humbling experience. So he says he's a mix of Russell, Boston Rob, and Joe Anglim. So I'm just like sitting here thinking, okay, so you're like a combination of all these like manipulative people. So and he's on the hero tribe, so that's probably good. We're gonna see a little diversity on the hero tribe. Really get to see Ben like maybe work his magic, try to lie maybe a little bit. So I feel like that's gonna be exciting. But then he also goes on to say, yeah, I'm a huge teddy bear, but I can be a grizzly bear when I want to. And I'm just sitting there like, I mean, Russell was no teddy bear. Russell's no teddy bear. But I don't know. I'm really excited to see him play because on this hero tribe, like the dynamics of it, I feel like he's gonna be a big shot, a big player. And if he does what he says he's gonna do, like play like the people he says he's most similar to. So I'm really excited to see those dynamics. And I think they have at least one of each of these people on each of the tribes, people that say that they're going to they're going to lie, or they're most like Boston Rob, or previous contestants like that. So if they truly are like them, then this is going to be a very exciting season. But I don't know. We'll find out for sure next Wednesday. All right. So with that, let's get to our next contestant. All right. So our next contestant, and this is all the hero tribe, by the way, is Chrissy Hofbeck. She is 46 years old. She is an actuary. Now, for those of you who don't know what an actuary is, like I didn't before starting this video, an actuary is someone who calculates the present value of future risk. So it's kind of like a very economical thing. She says she's like a mathematician. She was fairly interesting. one of the things in her video that really caught my eye was she was saying that like a lot of people, because she works in like the STEM fields, and she says that a lot of people kind of assume that she got there just based on her being a woman and them needing like diversity in those fields. But she says that she thinks that's bullshit basically, and she doesn't want people to like see her that way. And she says that she's actually very, very competent at her job. So I think she might feel a little like she has to prove something. And I think she even said that, right. She said she feels underestimated, but she wants to kick ass basically. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm really hoping that she does show us like this side of her where she just goes out there and just kicks butt. I'm best. She says her pet peeve is people eating like cavemen. Now, I got bad news for you, Chrissy. I got bad news for you. You're on Survivor. Of course people are going to be eating with their hands. I mean, like, come on. If that's a pet peeve, then you're going to be peeved out this entire season. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm sure this is just going to be like one of those things that they just say is like a pet peeve and then just never comes up in the show. Like, I really just hope we just never see like anything like, well, why are you eating with your hands for? Sitting here like, it's Survivor. What else you got to eat with your feet? All right. So she says she's most similar to Ty in the sense that he's like so loving and whatnot, but can also really turn it up, like the strategy aspect when necessary. So I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Chrissy. I think she might be one of the oldest people on this cast. You're 46 years old. Yeah, I think she's tied for the oldest contestant. With her and one other person, which we will get to in a little bit. All right, so let's get to our next contestant. I believe this is our fifth Heroes guy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So this is John Paul Hilzebeck, otherwise known as JP. Now, one thing I like about John Paul is his name, because his name's John Paul and my name is Paul John. So because people are petty and they like people for stupid reasons, I like John Paul. All right. So I like my boy JP, and he also has got a cool nickname, JP. All right. So let's talk a little bit about him. So he's 28 years old and he is a firefighter. All right. So out there, risk his life every day. So personification of a hero. All right, so this is him. I don't think maybe I did show this. I don't remember now. All right, so yeah, his name's J. So he goes by JP. He says that he doesn't consider himself to be a hero despite being a firefighter. He says it's just his everyday job. Everyone goes out there and does their job every day. He's just one of the same. I respect that personally. He shows that he's a really humble person, which is good. It's good to be humble, like in life. And it's going to come off. It's not going to come off like he's bragging or anything. Like he's not going to be like a bragger. So people aren't going to like dislike him for bragging or anything. So he's good. He's like down to earth. I think that's pretty respectful. So he doesn't like people who don't follow through. So essentially, if he talks to someone or during like before, when they say they're going to vote one way and they vote the other way, he's basically probably not going to like that person. I'm just very clear, very clear cut, very clear. He's just not going to, just doesn't like people that don't follow through. So I think he doesn't like people that probably backstab. So that's the way I interpret it. Let me know down below. Maybe you interpret that statement a little differently. He says he's an outdoorsy guy. Makes sense that he's outdoorsy. Being a firefighter, he's a very fit guy, as you saw in the picture. He says he's most similar to Jay from Millennials versus Gen X. If you guys remember Jay from season 33, season 33, he was like an outdoorsy guy. He had he had a good personality. He was really strong, won a lot of challenges. I think he ended up 5th or 6th, or he made it really far. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he did a really good job his season. So if he's anything like Jay, he'll probably make it pretty far. He says he wants to use the money to help his sister because she has like some sort of disease. So he wants to donate to like the foundation to help find a cure for it, which I think, that's respectful. It's very respectful. Good guy. I mean, you can't say anything bad about that. I hope he doesn't use that. I hope he doesn't use that to like get ahead in the game, though. I don't think he will because he's so humble. But you never know. People do whatever they want in this game, and sometimes they have to. All right, so let's talk about our next contestant. Our next contestant is Katrina Radke. Oh God, these last names, man, I just cannot deal with these last names. But anyway, she's a 46-year-old Olympian swimmer. All right, so Olympian swimmer, that's a huge feat, right? She said she wanted to be an Olympian ever since she was a young girl, and then she finally got to achieve her dream, which was, very good. And now she's going on Survivor, so she gets to pick. She gets to knock something else off her bucket list, I'm sure. So she said her biggest pet peeve, are whiners, and like I said before, there's going to be a lot of whiners. There's always a lot of whiners. Like I'd be surprised if there was a season with no whiners, but I can already tell it's going to be like a point of contention between her and some people, maybe on a tribe. I mean, maybe not on her specific early tribe, but maybe later in the game, because these are all supposed to be heroes. So heroes tend to have like good work ethics and tend to get the job done, and just people look up to them, take a leadership role. I mean, I don't know, but if anyone's not pulling their weights or if they're complaining, I'm sure she will complain about it. I think she says she loves the water, loves swimming. I think that's fairly obvious. I mean, she is an Olympian swimmer, so yeah, loves the water. All right, so that's our heroes tribe, and if it's anything like how Survivors usually been in this past couple of seasons, the tribes are going to break up after like 2 weeks. So talking about like tribe dynamics might not mean too much anymore. Like in the beginning, it matters a little bit, but I feel like with the game nowadays, with these tribe switches, the beginning of the game doesn't matter as much as it used to anymore. But who knows? Maybe they'll keep this tribe. Maybe they'll keep these tribes for like 4 or 5 weeks. And if they do, the relationships will really matter. So if that's the case, then I can probably see a few of these people getting along. I know the lifeguard will probably get along well with the Olympian. I assume they will anyway. Yeah, I think JP will probably get along well with Ben and Alan, and I think Chrissy might have a tough time. She was the actuary, so she might have a tough time trying to relate to these people, because they all seem like really outdoorsy people, and she's more like a technical person, like uses her head for stuff. So I mean, we'll see exactly if she can deliver or if she can relate to them. All right, so let's go into our healers tribe. All right, so let's start with our man Cole Metters. All right, so let's see. Cole Metters, he's 24 years old, and he's a wilderness therapy guide. Now, I don't remember exactly what this entailed, but I think he says they take people that have like these issues, and they take them into the wilderness to like try to like, as like a therapeutic exercise to like help them. And that's honestly incredible. If I were him, I would probably keep this wilderness thing to himself, just because people will basically think, oh, well, he has experience outdoors, like he's done this stuff in the wilderness before, so he's going to be a big target. So I hope he keeps it to himself. He probably won't, though, because maybe he won't think that far. He doesn't like people who don't take responsibility. So people don't take responsibility for their actions. So I guess that would include like liars in a sense. So if someone like voted for someone and lied about it for whatever reason, so that's them not taking responsibility or not owning up to them not participating well in a challenge. So if someone doesn't do their fair share in a challenge, I'm sure we can expect him not to not to really appreciate that if they're not owning up to it. All right. So he says he lives in his car. I think it was like a Prius or something. So he lives in his car and basically just drives around, does whatever. So I think that's pretty interesting. Someone living right out of his car, that's got to be like a really tough thing to do. So props to him. I think he says if he won Survivor, he was going to buy like a big van and drive around with it. Pretty interesting because this is a big outdoorsy guy. But, most of these people are outdoorsy people. He says he doesn't think people are supposed to live cushy lives. They're supposed to like get down and dirty and gritty outside, basically. I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, like, it's a thing called evolution. You start outdoors and then you go indoors. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's natural selection. All right. But anyway, that's his thought process on it. Good on him for thinking that. And he really lives by it because, he lives in his car and works as a wilderness therapy guide. So he follows through with his beliefs, which is good. Do I think he's going to get far? Yeah, I think he will get far. Just his wilderness expertise. I think people would find that vital in the beginning, or they'll take like a shot at him really early on, and they'll say like, "Oh, well, he knows his stuff, so let's get him out early." So it's going to be one of the two options. They're either going to keep him for a while and then really, really early because of his expertise with the outdoors. I don't know. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below, or if you agree or disagree in the chat. So please let me know. Let's go on to our next contestant. So we have our girl, Desiree Williams, otherwise known as Desi. So she's 27 years old, and she is a physical therapist. Okay, so she says that she can't stand people who are all talk, doesn't like laziness, basically. In regards to the physical therapist thing, she says that she had 2 knee surgeries when she was younger, and she says like the way that her physical therapist like handled everything, it like really made her appreciate just the way like it all worked out, basically. So she really appreciated a physical therapist, and that really inspired her to become a physical therapist. So that's actually really interesting. She said she seeks adventure in her life, very adventurous person, and that's why she's going on Survivor. What bigger adventure out there is there than going on Survivor and going in the wilderness for at least 39, at most 39 days. All right. She said she's flirty, so we might see her like be flirted up with some guys or maybe some girls. I don't know what her orientation is. She says she's most similar to Tash from season 28, the one on the Brains tribe. I actually really, really loved her. So I hope she is exactly like she's exactly like her from season 28. All right. All right, so that's Desiree. I think she'll do fine, honestly. If she does get flirty and gets into like a showmance with somebody, that could put a big target on her. So that's a possibility. Like maybe she'll get along with like let's see who else is in her tribe in the beginning. They would be is Cole, but I don't know if they would be. I don't know if she would like be into that. I don't know. We'll find out in a few weeks. She says she's flirty, but we'll see if she uses it to her advantage. Let's go into our next contestant. We have. Why does it say Desiree when I changed it to? One second. All right. Well, whatever. Well, I'll deal with it. Our next contestant is Jessica Johnston. She's 29 years old, and she is a nurse practitioner. So she was actually the fuck. Well, I guess my connection is getting a little messed up here. Surprises like this are always a possibility. And there we go. Okay, it's a little messed up for some reason, but we will persevere anyway. So we have Jessica Johnston, who is 29 years old, and she is a nurse practitioner. And she says that she really appreciates. She says that a lot of people like she said she really appreciates like her job because it was like a really hard degree to get. Like she really worked really hard to get that degree. So and she worked really hard to do it. So she feels that because of that, people maybe like respect her a lot. So she says she loves fitness and loves the gym. So she loves going out, like working out and all that jazz. She said she talks a lot, which is always like a big problem in Survivor. Like people that talk a lot. I feel like she could be like that kind of complainer, basically, like the person that does end up complaining and perhaps puts a target on her back from talking too much. Like I hope that's not the case for her sake, but you just never know. Okay, see, now it loaded up fine. You know what? I'm going to do this click first before doing anything, or maybe it was just the connection being stupid for a second there. Sorry about that for those viewing. All right, so anyway, she says she's most similar to Andrea from last season and from a bunch of seasons. If she is like her, then she's gonna get far because she's no joke, and I really do hope that she's just like Andrea because oh my god, that would just be like she would just be incredible if that's the case. Incredible to watch, extra fun, very competitive. So if she's anything like that, then I think she'll make it far, but maybe not going to win. I mean, I hate to say it, but Andrea plays very hard, and like to a sense that she made herself a big target on all of her seasons. So if Jessica plays like that, then she might not be playing to win, but she'll be playing to like make a name for herself for sure. I'm gonna feel like I might get some hate for that because I know a lot of people like Andrea. All right, but anyway, let's go to our next contestant. We have Joe Mena. He's again not good with last names, but he is 34 years old and he is a probation officer. Okay, so this is that one guy on the healer tribe that's kind of like, yeah, I can manipulate people, just like we had that one hero guy that basically did that. And there's a lot of hustlers that I'm sure that are willing to do it as well. So let's talk a little bit about Joe. He works with high-risk offenders only. So as I said, he's a probation officer. He only works with high-risk offenders, and he says these are people that are constantly trying to like manipulate you, get in your head, and so he's like in a very stressful situation. It kind of reminds me a little bit of I hate to compare games here, but it reminds me of Derek from Big Brother 16. He says he had to put himself in situations where he had to like manipulate people as well. So if he's able to work it out like Derek did in Big Brother and like Sarah did last season, using her skills, I think Joe can make it pretty far. So he says he learned how to swim to get on Survivor. Yeah, so I think he might appreciate some of those that lifeguard on the Heroes Tribe and that Olympian swimmer. So maybe he could get some training in if they ever get on a tribe together after a tribe switch. You never know. Biggest pet peeve are fake smiles, or fake smiles basically, and just like fake people in general. Just because of his work background, I feel like he's probably able to see past like the fakeness. So big trouble for those individuals. All right. He says he's similar to Tony from Survivor 28 and last season. I hope so. I hope he's just like Tony. But again, being like Tony puts a big target on your back. So I hope he's a little more low key with it, and I think he will be low key with it because he says he knows how to manipulate people because of his job. So I feel like if he just does it like that, he should be fine. He should be fine. And I think he's going to make it pretty far. In fact, I'm actually personally rooting for him, but I'll get to my pick to win at the end. All right. And, so let's get into our next contestant. We have Mike Zahalski. So again, I might be butchering his last name. It is what it is. He says he's a 43-year-old urologist. He says he runs a very, very busy practice. He's a huge Survivor fan. He says he named his son Ethan after the third season winner. So that's a pretty big deal, I think. Naming your son after someone from Survivor, that basically proves you're a super fan. So he's a huge Survivor super fan. He says he's most similar to Boston Rob. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me, do you see the comparison? Maybe personality-wise, and if he is similar to Boston Rob, I hope we see that because that would be incredible. Maybe he'll get along with that other guy who was similar, who really liked Boston Rob. I believe let's see, who was that? Right, similar to Ben from The Heroes Tribe, the Marine. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be like Boston Rob. Maybe some of you know him and can tell me down below, hey, is he anything like Boston Rob? I don't think so. But it doesn't mean he's going to do bad in the game, of course. So he's also a germaphobe, which is going to be a big issue in this game because you're outside all the time. So there's definitely a lot of germs flowing out there. I hope he's able to get through it. I hope we don't see him complaining about the germs. Because if he complains too much, then he's going to annoy all those other contestants that hate complainers. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to get far, but he has room for growth. And a lot of these people that a lot of seasons you have these people that go through these transformations, and he has the potential to do that. And I think he could have a good story from this if he makes it far. But I don't think he will make it far. I think he'll be an easy boot. They'll see him as the weakest link on the tribe. The healers will lose the challenge. They'll be like, oh, let's get rid of Mike to keep the tribe strong. So I hope that's not the case because I want to see him go far and see him maybe Boston Rob it up. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. We're going to our next contestant. All right, we have our girl Roark Luskin. I actually really liked Roark, and I might be pronouncing her name wrong. Roark, whatever her name is. I think it's just Roark. All right, so she is a 27-year-old social worker. And I liked her because she's just different. She's unique, and I like unique people because all these other people, a lot of them are just oh, I'm outdoorsy. I like this, that, and the other thing. I go outside a lot. I'm out. I do a lot of physical activity. I'm just okay. A lot of you do. And I like seeing a little diversity. So she says that her pet peeve is she says, name something. It probably peeves me. So that's what she says. I was like, whoa, like this girl does not kid around. She says her inspiration is Beyonce's daughter. Okay, good for you. She says she's competitive. She's goal-oriented. She said she likes correcting people. So she says that's going to be an issue for her in this game. Someone's going to say something wrong and she's going to immediately want to correct them. So she's she might talk a little bit too much. Which can be an issue in this game if you talk too much. By the way, for those just coming in,
Feel free to talk in the chat down below. I will answer any questions you have, or if you have any comments, go ahead. Go ahead and talk down below in the chat. Thanks. All right, so, and she says that she's going to play the game like slow and steady. And I think that's a good strategy, playing the game slow and steady, because you don't want to go too hard in the beginning, because if you go too hard in the beginning, you're seen as a big threat, and you basically get out pretty early. You want to start low and like rise. I feel like that's like a trend in like all these Survivor games. You want to build yourself a resume, but you also want to do like your little rise. And I think if you do your little rise, you can get far. I think that's what she wants to do. He'll play a little slow and steady. All right. So I believe that's it with the healer tribe. Now let's jump into the. Well, I talked a little bit about the heroes after I was done with that before, so I'll talk a little bit about this. So yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of these people will likely get along. Like I said before, Desiree, who's pretty flirty, maybe she'll like flirt with Cole. I think that's the only like guy around her age on her tribe that might be like the only option there. Or maybe she'll flirt with someone after the tribe switch. I don't know. Maybe a showmance will happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Or a power couple. I can't believe I called it showmance. It's power couple. I have Big Brothers stuck in my head. But yeah, a power couple. All right. So yeah. So maybe. Yeah, I think Joe Mensa is going to have. No, not Joe Mensa. I think Mike's going to have like a lot of trouble, and I think Joe is going to get pretty far, but people might compare him a lot with Tony from season 28, and really just not, just see him as a big threat and take him out. I hope that's not the case, but you never know in Survivor. All right, so let's go on to our Hustler tribe. I see a lot of people just left. Bye, people. All right, anyway, let's get to our Hustler tribe. So we're going to go first with our girl, Alexandrea Elliott. She is 24 years old, and she is a celebrity assistant for some YouTuber. I forgot which YouTuber it was, or I didn't bother looking it up, rather. She says that she's had like an interesting life. She says that she connected with a lot of different people like in her life. She says like she's mixed, so she relates to a lot of different people, and she talks to a lot of different people, and she's moved around a lot. She's talked to people with like a bunch of different life situations, basically. She said when they asked her what are her pet peeves, she's just like, yeah, I have a lot of pet peeves. And then she talked about like traffic and like driving, basically. I'm just like, well, at the very least, we won't see any of those pet peeves on Survivor. So it's not a lot of traffic on a fucking island. All right, so she says that she doesn't want to do too much, and she wants to play like even-handed. So she's very similar to like to Roark, which is basically like, yeah, I want to start small and then rise up, basically. She doesn't want to do too much in the beginning, make herself be a big target. She said she understands that you sometimes have to lie to win Survivor. Huh? Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you just got to do it. All right. And she said she's most similar to Andrea again. So I guess a lot of people really like Andrea. And I don't blame them. Andrea is a very, very popular Survivor contestant. I love Andrea too. And I loved her last season. All right, let's go into our next contestant. We have our boy, Devon Pinto. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might be missing someone on this list. Well, anyway, we'll figure it out when the time comes. All right, so we have our boy, Devon Pinto. He is he's 23 years old, and he is a surf instructor. Yeah, so he loves surfing. Basically, that's number one. He made sure to make the point of that. He says his pet peeves are complaining and narrow-mindedness. Basically, if you have a pet peeve that's narrow-mindedness, it basically defines you as like a millennial. Basically, millennials consider themselves to be very open-minded, even though a lot of times we're not. Hint, hint. Um, he says he wants to start like an after-school program, or something. I don't know. He says that he will play dumb so people underestimate him. I think that's a very smart strategy. I think if he goes along with that, I think he'll do just fine. So, hoping for good things for our boy Devon. All right, let's get into our next contestant. I actually love this lady. So Lauren Rimmer. She is 35 years old, and she is a commercial fisherman. Now, I actually truly did enjoy Lauren because she's such like a unique character. And like I said before, I enjoy the uniqueness of people in Survivor, just because it makes the game a little more interesting, a little more diverse, and I just personally really enjoy it. So she said like fishing runs in her blood. She loves the boat. Like all like people in her family all did fishing. Since she lives in like a small town, like 4,000 people maybe, so it's not like a lot of job opportunities. So she's just a commercial fisherman. So she says her pet peeves are laziness and low work ethic. And she basically says that like, you know, she's a real hustler. She goes out, you know, on the boat, and if she doesn't catch what she needs to catch, then basically she can't like survive. Basically, so she says that good organization is something that's important. All right, so do I think Lauren's going to get far? I think I don't know. You know, she's 35, so they could. I think she's the oldest one on this tribe. Or one of the older ones on this tribe, and the Hustler tribe has like a lot of young people on it, so they might see her as the weak link, even though she's only 35 years old. Like she's not really that old, so but they could see her as like a weak link and nix her early. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's get on to our next contestant. All right, so our next contestant is our guy Patrick Bolton. All right, so Patrick Bolton, he is 24 years old, and he's a small business owner. So, yeah, I mean, basically some things about Patrick. Let's see here. Oh, fuck. Should have muted. Okay, whatever. But anyway, he says he loves, like, traveling new places and all that. He says his pet peeves is people leaving dishes in the sink. I mean, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue in Survivor. Basically, he says that its personal claim to fame is like sustaining their business. It's called Bolt Movers. I actually didn't write too much about it, but I guess it's like sorry. Yeah, I didn't write too much about it, so I actually don't remember what the business is. But because he's a small business owner, these are people that like. They're real hustlers because they have to work really hard to basically sustain the business. And similar to our boy Alan, who wanted to bring hot sauce, he wants to bring teriyaki sauce onto the island, which is like, what is with people wanting to bring like these sauces to the fucking Survivor Island? I mean, come on. It's like, I mean, bring something like, I don't know, like maybe a little more meaningful, something that might work. But anyway, it is what it is. So he says he's a real hustler. He says he really wants to win the money and really work really, really hard. So I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. But we'll find out for sure in sometime next week. Okay. So getting into our last two, I believe. Yeah, last two. Yep, last two. All right, so we have our boy Ryan Ulrich. I really, really, really liked Ryan. I don't know why. I liked him, but I did. He's a bellhop, which is amazing. Like bellhop is just like such a random. It's just like a random job. I loved it. I mean, he says he's done like a bunch of other jobs too. But he's a goddamn bellhop. That's amazing. He says when he was younger, he took speech a lot when he was younger. He says he couldn't pronounce R's, and because of that, he says he couldn't pronounce R's until he was like a teenager. So he took like a lot of speech courses and stuff. And he says because of that, he never wants to be misunderstood ever again. So he always wants to be very clear with what he's saying, and I think that's very. I think that's important. I think that's fairly important. He says his pet peeves are political correctness and people who lack passion. Now, my biggest pet peeve, well, not my biggest pet peeve, but I share his pet peeve of political correctness. I feel like people should be open with themselves, be able to say what they want, what they mean, without having to like censor themselves. And if someone gets offended, then they should let them know that they're offended instead of just complaining about it like some outside force. But I don't think people should be censoring themselves. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree. He says he wants to be the first person to wear a turtleneck on Survivor. And he does. They showed a clip of it of him wearing a red turtleneck. Interesting. He says he wants to be average enough in everything to fly under the radar. And I think he could do it. I mean, just looking at him, I think he can be like that average Joe that flies under the radar. There's been a lot of contestants that have done that in the past. I don't know. I just think he's going to make it pretty far. Just looking at him, I think he can make it pretty far. All right, let's go to our last contestant now for the Hustler Tribe. So we have Simone Nguyen. Again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, well, it is what it is. She's 25 years old, and she is a diversity advocate. What I found most interesting about Simone is that she has like a job that it seems like it would place her on the Healer Tribe, but like watching like her video and everything, it really seems like she's like a very ambitious person, wants to go in there and lie, wants to go in there and like lie when she has to, really wants to get ahead. She says her pet peeve is people who lack self-awareness. So I guess that's people that don't like understand like if they're doing something that's annoying, basically. Let's see here. She says that she's most similar to Ty and Michaela. So if she's a mix of Ty and Michaela, those are both people that tend, in their own way, speak their mind. Like Ty does it in like a very loving way, and Michaela does it in like a very matter-of-fact way. But they're both very open and like expressive with themselves. So I feel like she's going to be like an open book in some situations. So yeah, I mean, I think she's going to be a fairly interesting contestant. And let me know down below if you agree or disagree with that. Okay, so that's my cast analysis. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that whole thing by myself. I have like 3 screens in front of me. I had my phone and my iPad here next to me. Oh boy, you guys should see this whole setup that I prepared here. Okay, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to give my opinion on who I think is going to win the game. I usually tend to pick 1 male and 1 female. So I'm just going to go through my PowerPoint really quickly to pick who I think is going to win and state my reason why. And let me know who you think is going to win down below as well. All right. So I think that my guy pick has to be Ryan. Now, there was one other guy I was really liking too. I won't say who that is, but Ryan, I just really liked Ryan, like the bellhop thing, the turtleneck. I think it's fairly interesting. I hope he's not like an early pick off. He says he wants to be like that average Joe guy. I can really see him doing that. He looks just like interesting. It looks like he's gonna be pretty fun to watch. And I'm really rooting for him. I hope he makes it far. I mean, I'm not sure if he will, but you never know. So that is my guy pick. Let's get to my women pick. All right. So I think I was going to be picking her. So let's get to that. Yeah. So my female pick to win is Desiree. I just really like Desiree. I think she can make it pretty far. I mean, she says she was like the physical therapist girl. So I think I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh God, like I had all these reasons before on why I said why I said, and I think she will get into like get into a power couple with someone. She will become like a power couple with someone in this game, and I feel like that person will go before she does, and then she'll be able to like fly through the game. I think that's a possibility. Of course, I'm only basing this off of her saying that she was flirty, so I'm hoping she's flirty enough to start a relationship on Survivor and create a power couple. So her and Cole, I'm hoping for it. Woo! All right. Let me know down below who you think is going to be who are your picks to win this game. And I hope to see you guys next Wednesday when I'll be reviewing the first episode of Survivor 35, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. I'm hoping to do. I might do the video by myself, or I might do it with either Chris or Dave, or maybe even Nate. I don't know what's going on, but I will definitely be doing a video every week. Even if it's just me, I will trudge along, whether you guys like it or not. I don't care. I will keep going. All right. I want to thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoy this cast analysis, let me know down below. If you did not enjoy this cast analysis and you think I suck, I guess give it a dislike. I don't know. I guess let me know that too. I apologize if the quality of this video was like a little iffy at times. I'm literally running like multiple computers at once here, just trying to set everything up. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, guys. Peace.